Well, the Florida After School Network is one of 39 national networks funded by the Charles Stewart Mott Foundation. We also get our funding from the Children's Services Councils, including the Children's Trust. The network has two purposes. The first is to improve the overall quality of after school in this state, and I think we've done a pretty good job with the network in that we've developed the first Florida standards for after school. Those standards have been endorsed by the Children's Services Councils, by the Early Learning Coalitions, by the United Ways of Florida, the Boys and Girls Clubs, and many other avenues have endorsed those standards and bought into them. The second thing we're working on, we're very excited about this, is the development of an after-school professional development system, whereby an after-school worker can get a certificate all the way up having a bachelor's degree. And when we accomplish this, and it should be done in 2012, we'll be the first state in the country to have this formalized system from certificate all the way up to a bachelor's level degree. The second thing that the network is involved with, and one we'll be focusing on, is to achieve funding, sustainable funding, so that every kid has an opportunity to participate in a quality after school. Not that every kid has to have one, has to participate, but they have the opportunity to participate.
Well, parents are very concerned about that time when school bell rings at 2 or 2:15 until they get home from work at 6 o'clock. What should parents look for when they're selecting an after-school program for their children?
I'm going to answer two ways, if I could, Mo. First of all, we should be concerned with kids after school, particularly in the first hour. Fight Crime, Invest in Kids is a national organization made up of state prosecutors, police chiefs, sheriffs. They say that the initial hour after school, that juvenile crime, violent juvenile crime triples, and that between the hours of 2 and 6, kids get into trouble more, they're more apt to test out drugs and alcohol, teen pregnancies occur, kids become victims of violent crime. So the hours between 2 and 6, those are the hours where parents are not as productive at work because they're on the phone trying to figure out where little Johnny or little Susie is. If I was looking for an after-school program, the first thing you want to look at certainly is the quality of the staff. Are the staff certified? Do they have credentials? What's the safety of the program? Are the children encouraged to participate in the planning of the events? What are the activities? You want to try to match your child's interests with that of the program.
Now, our after-school program funding comes through the Early Learning Coalition, traditionally. They've just been hit with a $13 million cut, and essentially all funding for after-school for kids 6 and above has been cut. Is this happening across the state? What are you doing about that?
Yeah, that's a very good point, Mo. First of all, what I like to tell folks is that the school readiness legislation was not passed on the backs of the 6 and 7-year-olds. And we've seen that happening throughout the state, not only in Miami, but certainly with the other counties where the priority is 0 to 5, and what happens is they cut funding exponentially for kids aged 6 through 12. What the network is trying to do about that, and I've been in this business for a long time, and what I'm going to tell you, I think the messenger has to change. And what I mean by that is when I would go before the state legislature, even when I was the assistant secretary or the state child care administrator, I was kind of suspect. But when David Lawrence talks about voluntary pre-K and school readiness, they listen. When Danny Marino talks about autism, they listen. So what we're doing at the network is we are putting together a cadre of professionals that are business folks. And they're the ones that are going to, we call it our panel of champions, and they're the ones that are going to be helping us make the fight. On our panel, we have Frank Rogan, former Lieutenant Governor, State University Chancellor, Kathy Castor, Representative Castor, right here in Miami, Mayor Diaz, Michael Lannis, School Superintendent. So we need to have these kinds of folks talking about the issue of after school in the state, and that's when we're going to get them.